Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to go over some Vosteed knives because it's a company that I have pretty much liked every knife that they've released, or at least the ones that came across my review table. And the Vosteed Thunderbird, this exact one, is my most viewed video from Vosteed by a long shot. I don't know if it was the color or what. It's a cool folder. This is the biggest version, the 3.4 inch blade with the G10 scales, S35 in steel, and it has their patented Trek lock. It just allows them to have the 3 deployments with the internal button lock thing. It's pretty neat, and it was cool seeing them do some innovative stuff, and they continue to do that kind of stuff. Then they released the 3.2 inch version with the G-Mascus, I guess you'd call it. It's layered G10 and pretty interesting looking configurations. They have the compound ground blades on them. This particular one is in M390 steel. It's a nice medium-sized knife, probably my favorite size of the bunch. And then they released the littlest one, the 2.9 inch. It's a nice compact size. Back here it's a little cramped, but in the choke cup it's good. And these are in M390 as well. We have a brand new 3.2 inch version that is lighter than all these. We have their new Ultem Thunderbird. And I was like, wow, that's light. This one right here comes in at 2.88 ounces. The small one comes in at 2.94. So it's bigger than the small one and it's lighter. Great action. And the second thing that I like about this one is it's in my favorite steel that Vosteed uses. And this one is in LMAX steel. Usually holds a great edge. It's a fairly tough steel, and overall it's just a good one. And if you're looking for a super lightweight EDC knife, pretty compact in the closed position, it's a nice fidgety knife if you like to fidget with your knives. This is a good option. It's got a good detent per se with the button lock. This one rockets out. And I noticed whenever I was putting this video together that I'll have misplaced my favorite Thunderbird, the one with the titanium scales and the LMAX blade. I looked everywhere for that. I don't know if I loaned it to a friend or something, but I cannot find it to save my life. Pretty bummed out about it, but at least I got this new one. I'm not even a huge Ultem fan. It's just a thermoplastic. We actually use this in our 3D printers at my old job. So I kind of knew what it was already. And, you know, it's got some decent toughness, especially you can see how thick it is. And then it allows you to see those liners underneath there. I'm either here nor there when it comes to the Ultem. Let me know what you think. Do you like the Ultem? It's going to be a little bit thicker behind the edge because you have a short grind height here. I'm pretty sure this is a hollow. And then you have your flat grind up here in the front. I think it's a good looking knife. It kind of reminds me of like a Sponto from Hinder or something. And this size is perfect for me if I'm choked back. Especially if I'm choked up, I have a lot left over. So which one's your favorite? Do you own any of the Thunderbirds? And what do you think about the new Ultem Thunderbird in LMAX steel? If any of the knives that I show today interest you, I'll try to have them all linked down in the description. They will be affiliate links, so if you're already buying something and you want to use my links to help support the channel, that's awesome. If not, no biggie. And then when it comes to their budget models, their Raccoon model is definitely one of my favorites. It goes back and forth between this one and one other. So these are all the different variations they have. So we have the one that started it, the Raccoon button lock. This one's in 14C, and you can get it in micarta G10. You can get it in a satin, I think, and stone wash blade. I have one of those too. Probably one of my favorites right here. This is their adjustable crossbar lock version with the textured aluminum scales. And this one's in Nitro V. Then they dropped my second favorite as of right now, the top liner lock. It's got great action. This is the one that everybody in my house uses. You can see the gunk on it. And this one is in 14C. Ridiculously smooth action. Look at that. This one's pretty darn lightweight. Versatile drop points. Super slicey. They come ridiculously sharp. Reversible deep carry pocket clips. Then they have the cleaver, pretty much like a Sheepsfoot blade, kind of. This one's a blasted stonewash finish, definitely not my favorite because of corrosion. And this one's in 14C. And this one took me by surprise, the Raccoon Cub. I love this little guy. It's a great 5th pocket carry. And this thing is ridiculously slicey because it's got nice thin blade stock. Comes down to like, I think it's like 14 thousandths or something like that. Yeah, I got a forward finger choil. Lightweight. You also have the one that was supposed to be the mini Raccoon, but they decided to go with the Cub. Wish this one would still come out. It's a flipper and thumb hole. Excellent action. It's just a scaled down version. This one is a liner lock like the Cub is. The Raccoon, I can highly recommend it. I've done a lot of videos on it. I've done a lot of testing on each one of these, and they all perform great, and it's a great EDC knife. Then my second favorite of their budget knives is definitely the Nightshade, and sometimes it's my #1 favorite. It goes back and forth. This is the one I was talking about. And this one right here, the flipper version, was the first Vosteed I ever had on the channel. I gotta tell you, I was pretty darn impressed. And at first I was not feeling the whole aesthetic of this knife, but the usefulness of this shilling cutter blade, or however you say it, is remarkable. One of the best blade shapes or designs as far as versatility goes. If you're doing drag cuts, that tip's already down where you're gonna go. In hand cuts, it traps it like a recurve. It's got a full flat on it. It's nice and thin. These all have stupid smooth action, crown spines, contoured scales, G10 micarta, 154 cm steel. This is the Nightshade TH with the thumb hole. That's what TH stands for. Only one I never got was the thumb studded version, but I think I like this one anyway more. I like this one a lot because there's no flipper tab to get in your way. You can get right up on that edge if you want. This one is also in 154 cm. Look at the action on this one. The action is redonkulous. You can get it uncoated. This is just a black wash version. I have one of those too somewhere. Now this one is tip up right hand carry only though. And then they came out with the premium version. This is a Franken premium. I swapped the scales on this one because they have a brass one with this scale. I put it with the titanium bolsters. And I absolutely love this knife. This one is in my favorite steel of theirs, L Max. It's just a great knife, smooth, snappy action, best action of all my full-size Nightshades. Wish they would come out with a TH in the premium. It would even be cool if they came out with an XL version. Then they dropped the minis. Started with, I think, the budget mini with the 14C, super lightweight. You got it's just a regular crossbar lock, and it's in 14C, stupid smooth. This is the textured aluminum one. This one has the 3 little spots to adjust the crossbar lock tension. Then the 2 premiums, you get different accents with the carbon fiber, coated or non-coated like this one. Nice, beautiful, reflective stone wash. And these are in S35 VN steel, super lightweight. My favorite of the mini Nightshades is definitely the titanium one because the action on this one, the tension on that crossbar lock for this particular model is dialed in the best out of all these. I like the extra heft to it, but if you want something super lightweight, go with the carbon fiber of that G10. This one's textured titanium, and it's the S35 VN steel. Excellent knives, super versatile blade shape. Yeah, outstanding users. We have the Labrador, the full size. It's a nice big knife. And then we have the mini Labrador in the titanium scales and the 14C 20 in steel. I can almost cram 4 fingers on it. It's got nice action. This is a flipper only, and it's right hand carry only on both of these as well. This one is ridiculously smooth as well. You got the back flipper, front flipper, thumb studs. They all work great. Nice contoured, grippy micarta scales. Nice and lightweight on this one as well for being such a big knife. 154 cm steel. A good one that doesn't get talked about enough, I don't think. Another one of their OG models is the Bellamy. I don't think they make this one anymore, but they do have a more budget-friendly version. Clip point blade with a very deep hollow grind that's ground nice and thin. This thing slices like nobody's business. This one is in M390 steel with the cross-cut carbon fiber. That's my favorite carbon fiber on a knife. I love the cross-cut, the way it shimmers off the light. This thing is ridiculously smooth as well. It's got the top flipper, back flipper, and of course, you got that fuller. Next, we have the Grind. This was an interesting drop for them, I have to say. This frag textured micarta is very grippy, and for the type of knife it is, that's fine, but it's a little over grippy for my hands. This one has kind of like a spear point blade, and this has a true Scandi on it, a 0 ground Scandi. This one does not have a micro bevel. I may have kind of stropped a micro bevel on it by now, but talk about a wood eater here. 154 cm steel, adjustable crossbar lock. I'm not sure. Does anybody know? Are they still making this model? Then they had a Scandi ground one that has a micro bevel, depending on what you want. The micro bevel ones are just a little bit easier to sharpen. You don't have to worry about trying to sharpen this whole bevel. Another underrated knife in my opinion, and that is the Corsair. It's got nice contoured micarta scales, adjustable crossbar lock. The tension is outstanding on this one. You got a nice little thumb ramp. You have a nice and slicey Nitro V blade on this one. Super smooth action because of those bearings. Very lightweight, comfortable. Another one that I've kind of grown fond of, and that is the new Talarurus. It's got contoured G10 on this one. I'm not the hugest fan of thumb disc, but this one's fine. The action is excellent on this knife. I love that blade shape. You have just a little bit of belly, so it's not the easiest to cut on a flat cutting surface, but for your utility cuts, this is going to really excel. 14C, 20-inch steel, deep carry reversible pocket clip. Look at that action. Yeah. And this one also has the adjustable crossbar lock. Another really popular model for them, the Corgi. This is the original, not this particular one, but it's got like that pill-shaped handle, reversible deep carry pocket clip, titanium inserts right there housing that Trek lock. You have a front flipper and a back flipper, and they both work great. Drop point on this one, and it's in 14C, 20-inch steel, stupid smooth. Very smooth, and being that it's a button lock, you can do the reach around if you want, or you can front flip it. It's very comfortable. You have like a broomstick shaped handle. There's nothing, no crazy trolls or anything, no matter which grip you hold it in. They come with satin as well. Then they dropped the Corgi Pup, little guy, drop point, 14C, pretty much the same thing, just a shortened down version. This one's super easy to carry. Then I think this one's my favorite. They dropped this one this year. This is the new Sheepsfoot version. I just like this one a little bit more. I don't know why. 14C as well. So everything the same as the original, just a Sheepsfoot blade. Then we have another little guy, the Chipmunk, about the same size as the mini Labrador. You have a very interesting flipper here. I looked at that and I was like, nah, that's going to be terrible. But there's no thought to it. You just put your finger on top of it, pull it back, and that thing comes rocketing out. Just a pullback. Whoop. I don't think I can even fail this. Let's see. Let me try it real hard. Yeah, oh, well, that's only because I hit the top of that. Then you also have the front flipper, contoured scales on this one as well. You have a drop point blade on this one. 14C. Nice smooth action. Then they dropped one of their most affordable models, and that is the Acorn. I reviewed and tested this one this year, and I love this one, especially at its price point. You got contoured micarta. Beautiful grippiness to it. Front flipper, and then the action is stellar on this one. Has a forward finger choil. Choked up, it feels great. Even choked back, it feels great. You got some nice effective jimping up top if that's your thing. Versatile drop point. That's nice and slicey. Look right up here. Hopefully you can see that by my fingernails. This one is in 14C. Nice action. You can thumb flick it. And then they came out, the mini Acorn. And I like this one so much, I was like, I don't think I need this one. But then I started carrying it, reviewed it, and man, another little big knife because of that forward finger choil. I can get a nice 4-finger grip, contoured G10, same good jimping up top. Same slicey blade, and this one is also in 14C, and it's ridiculously smooth. This next one, I was super excited whenever they announced it. I was even more excited whenever I reviewed it, and that is the first EDC fixed blade that they dropped. And this is the Mink. Nice Kydex, perfect EDC size. Now this isn't my preferred blade shape. They're calling it a clip point. I guess it is. It slices so well because it's nice and thin. It's very comfortable. You have frag micarta, nitro V steel, very lightweight. I love the fact that they did the 2 jimping spots because if you're up here either doing this type of cut or solid motion cuts, that really grabs a hold of the finger. And then back here you have this one. This is a well thought out little fixed blade. And I stopped showing this one that much because it was out of stock. Well, they just got a new shipment in. At the time I'm shooting this video, it says low stock, so I don't know how many they got left. Hopefully by the time, if you're interested in one of these, hopefully by the time you go there, they're still available. And then I have also on the way, they came out with a Mink XL, which I was kind of bummed about because I like this size the most. But the Mink XL is a sheepsfoot blade, and I absolutely love the look of that one. I have one on the way. As soon as it gets here, I will test it and then review it. Hopefully it's still available. If not, I'll probably hold off on that review. But even though it's an XL Mink, it's still only 8.02 ounces with a 3.99 inch Nitro V blade on it. You can get this one 9 coated as well as that XL Mink. Then we have their Valkyrie series. It's a nice streamlined folder with the 3 different deployment methods to Trek lock. This is the CX blade, probably my favorite. I like that nice pointy point for the detail work, penetration. These are in 154 cm. And then they also have a sheepsfoot version as well. And they're both in 154 cm. Both of them stupid smooth, snappy. Next one is a little out there for most people, and that is the Griffin. This is a design by their main designer, and that is RS Knife Works. I love a lot of his stuff. This one, I like it. It's not my favorite. It's a bigger folder. So you have a flipper, front flipper, and blade hole. Blade hole works great. And then you have that, what is it, hawkbill blade and his signature compound ground blade. We'll say this one does slice very well, and that tip right there is excellent. If you need to get into a box or something, it works great. It pierces and then it gets deeper and deeper as you pull. And the action on this one is nice and buttery smooth. 14C 28N. The next one's a kind of a cool piece because it's a collaboration with a fellow YouTuber, and that is the Thornton. This is a collaboration with Wayne Sharp World. He designed this one. It's got contoured micarta, front flipper, and thumb stud deployment. This thing has great action. Love the blade shape. I think the only gripe I really had about this one was the sharpening choil. 14C, stupid smooth, man. Really smooth action. Front flipper works good because it's a button lock. You don't have to worry about grabbing a lock or anything. Very comfortable. Next one I have mixed feelings about, but I have grown fond of it. And that is another RS Knife Works collaboration. This is the Morel. It has like the starburst pattern in the aluminum scales. This one is a adjustable crossbar lock, and it has a thumb hole for deployment. And you have kind of like either a modified drop point, because it kind of comes up right here, or whatever you want to call it. Sheepsfoot, I don't care. Got his compound ground blade, and this one is in Bowler N690. And I tested this one, and I kind of expected the N690 to do pretty darn good, because N690 has pretty much the same edge retention as VG10, but the only reason at first I was kind of hesitant about this one because I was having some hot spots whenever I really, got into the knife. But for a day-to-day EDC task, it was fine. So we have the RSKAOS, and this was the first time we've seen their interpretation of compression lock, or the button compression lock. So they're calling it a top liner lock. That's pretty much what it is. You have a flipper that works great. And the action, watch this. The action on this thing has gotten so smooth. I've used this quite a bit too, though. And the reverse flick is excellent. They have the worn clip blade, and then they had a sheepsfoot blade. Pretty sure I sold the sheepsfoot because this is the one I carry the most. M390 steel. I mean, I know it was a very popular one for them, especially after the first drop. They sold out so quick. And I think this was their most expensive knife that they released. We have another all-tie knife. This is the Dachshund, I think it is. So we have kind of contoured tie scales, reversible mill pocket clip, front flipper, and excellent action, man. Very utilitarian blade there. M390 steel. I did gripe about the sharpening choil. You can see it's already flared because I've sharpened this one twice already. Very smooth. Then, in my opinion, this one kind of looks similar and is their thinnest knife, hands down, and that is the new Parallel. And I did not think I needed a knife this thin in my life until this one came along. I had a wedding to go to a couple weeks ago or last week. My memory's terrible. I brought 2 thin folders, this one and the Ace Bleecker. And talk about easy to carry because of how slim they are. They're not bulky in my slacks. Then we had their first crowdfunded knife because of this interesting lock. The first pivot lock that they did is called their Vanker lock. And this one is a prototype, as you can see there. And it's in L-Max. It held up outstanding. Love their L-Max. You have a front flipper, back flipper, My favorite, the blade hole, or you can use that banker lock. Then they came out with a more affordable version. Still have the fragged aluminum and all the different deployments. This one is in 154 cm steel. You can choke up if you like. Then we have another top liner lock. I absolutely love this one. This is the Hedgehog. You have that same fragged aluminum. I also have one in micarta. You have a back flipper that works outstanding. Watch how smooth. That thumb stud action is great. And you can reverse flick off that back fuller. This one's satin blade. My micarta one has a blasted stonewash finish. It's really a two-tone finish. S35V in steel. Very, very comfortable utilitarian blade shape there. Sure, if I'm missing anything, y'all let me know down in the comments. This next one I got super stoked about. Their first collaboration with Tough Knives, and that is the Psyop. This one right here is the smooth tie that's contoured. This one is also a top liner lock. Ridiculously smooth. You have front flipper, blade hole, forward finger choil, and this one is in LMAX steel. When I tested this, it performed next level good. Then you have the flat tie scales with the milled pattern on both sides. You have blind screw milled tie clips on these. This one also has a remarkable action. They both have satin finished blades. Then they released the mini Psyop. I love this little guy. I wish I would have got one of the carbon fiber ones, but I love the micarta just as much. But very grippy micarta. Adjustable crossbar lock on the mini. And the mini does not have a forward finger choil, so you're getting all edge. It's still in the LMAX, and that's why I got excited about the little guy. Very smooth action, and look, woo, just got a 4-finger grip on it, easy to carry. This thing weighs nothing. So lightweight. And here's another shot of, I'm pretty sure, all the premium Vosteeds. So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. And like I said, if any of the knives interest you and they are available, I will link them down in the description. I hope every one of y'all is having an absolute amazing day. I will see y'all on the next one.